Okay, can you hear me? If you can hear me, because yesterday we didn't have any here. If you can hear me, press in the chat that you're listening to me. Hi, I'm Lewis Schaffer, and this is my podcast. I don't know how long we're going to do this for. We're not going to do it for an hour. If there's no sound for an hour, we are not doing it, and I am upset. I'm at home. I should be more professional because people are watching this. Can you hear me? Are we online? Are we online? Let me see if we're online. We're live now. I'm going to write down we're live. Are we live? Are we live? Are we live? Can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me? Are we on? I don't see no messages from. I'm on Netflix and I'm on. Can you hear me? And I'm on live streaming. I think this is what it should be. It's an embarrassment, really, that this is going on again. Yes, hooray! Can you hear me? Okay, Joe, can you hear me? Alpha, Alpha. Is there a delay in being processed? Should I make it so you? That's question number 2. Anyway, we've got 2 people, 3 people. That's very good. Thank you for listening. Where's Alpha, Alpha, Beta? That's A, B. That's my blood is. I'm an A plus blood, I think. Okay, it's about a 15 seconds delay. So what I'm going to do? What kind of delay is it? Is it a delay in my speaking being broadcast, or is it a delay in you writing me? Alpha, one alpha, beta. How is that doing? Is that open there? Okay, so welcome to Lewis Schaffer's podcast. I would have called Paul, but not Paul Cox, and not my Paul. Paul Cox is sort of my Paul too. I'd like to think of him as my Paul. But Paul, who lives in the neighborhood, lives in Broccoli. He was upset at me yesterday because I didn't get any sound. So if there's no sound, please tell me. I need you to tell me. Don't watch if you're not going to communicate with me. I can't do this by myself. And don't be crazy on this show, please. There's only one crazy person on this show, which is me. Now, how do I change this so that I can, you don't have access to this feature. You don't have access to this feature. It's not a problem. Okay. You can talk to me and I'll try to talk to you. I should be better at doing this. I'm not. I'm one of those people who's not as competent as I seem to be. And this is what the problem is. The problem is people have always assumed that I was way more competent than I am because I grew up, in a household where people were well educated and I should have, and I come across as being well educated. Okay. But I'm not well educated. We now have 6 people watching. Totally appreciate 6 people watching it. Now that you can hear me, I'm going to plug in my earphones to see if I can be heard over the earphones, or maybe I can't be heard that way. I don't know. Only 2 people have signed in, Joe and Alpha. Can you please sign in? You people. Maybe that doesn't sound that nice that I'm calling you people. But the fact that you can hear my thing, I should be happier. I'm a little upset at what happened yesterday because that was like really, I know a lot of people thought it was, can you hear me now? Can you hear me now? If you can hear me now, send me a thumbs up. Or I'll write you. I'll see if you can write you. Can you hear me now? Okay, so not stargazer to the moon. We're going to miss you on Headliners, Lewis. You are the best thing on there. Thank you very much. I know I'm the best thing on there. I shouldn't say that because the other people are amazing, but they're amazing in their own way. Lewis Schaffer is only amazing in crazy situations like this. Thank you, Neil Bullock. Loud and clear. Brian Cope. Thank you, Brian Cope, for listening. Anyway, so we've got 9 people watching. So, it was very good for a while. That's all I have to say. I'm not going to say anything bad, but it was destroyed. It was destroyed. It wasn't destroyed by management. Management. I'm not going to say who destroyed Headliners, because I don't want, because I'm not that way. I'm a great guy. I'm a great guy. Am I not? I wouldn't want to say bad things about people, but we'll have another chance. Cressida. Hi, Andrew Claxton. Cressida and chick on the like thing. That makes me feel better. I'm interestingly, I'm really needy, but I'm not as needy as you think I am. I mean, I can go easily like maybe minutes with no attention. I'm not a complete attention seeker anyway. So Cressida is going to be on tonight's show with Andrew. Okay. Have you seen what Nick's saying on his podcast with Paul Cox? Seems everyone thinks it was Josh who was at fault. Headliners was a bit. Lee G says headliners was a bit too edgy for GB News, which is basically BBC Light. I don't think it was. I never heard any pressure of anything like that. I just think that somebody who took over, and I'm not going to blame anybody like that. Don't say it, Lewis. You're right, Neil. I'm not going to say it. I'm not going to say it. What do you guys think? Did Nick say this? I don't know if Nick said it. I was a good friend of Josh. I've known Josh for 25 years, but he basically thought I could be replaced. He basically thought I could be replaced with other people who are, a lot of them are just as good, but Lewis Schaffer, maybe I'm not that good. Anyway, Crescent is on the new headliner spot. I had raw milk today. I bought raw milk and I drank 500 milliliters, which is whatever that is. That's a lot of milk. That's a half a liter of milk, and it tasted amazing. It didn't taste that different from the regular milk that I have, which is 5% milk. Thank you, Neil. Thank you. Name the Lewis. Who am I going to name? I'm not going to name anybody. I keep it. I told him online. I told Josh online, and he had no respect for me, so he fired me. He's a bright guy. Where did you buy? I bought the raw milk down at Borough Market, which is Borough, which is at London Bridge, next to London Bridge, and it cost £3.60. The number's going up. We have 12 people watching. Thank you very much. Click on the like thing. That's really important to me. I don't know how long we're going to talk. I don't know what we're going to talk about because this is the first thing I've done. I'm thinking of it as a discussion. Hey, Lucy, good to see you. It's really good to speak to people. I mean, I wish I had somebody here. I always wish I had somebody here. I'm a social person because I'm an Aries. Any Aries out there? We have a lot of, I don't know whether it means that, but I'm a social person. Nicole Bussier, you're a photographer. So pleased Lewis is here, and I'm really pleased that you can hear my voice. I wish I could hear your voice. Lucy's an Aries as well. There you go. I knew that. She is. You can tell she's very, 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 I was going to say feisty. That sounds not the right word. She's very alive. I don't know whether Aries mean that. I don't believe in that. We can discuss that because Velikovsky has a theory about that. And maybe once upon a time, it did mean something because there were planets exploding and fighting in the air when certain moons, whatever, when certain planets were in the sky, and it made people change their opinions. So that we can talk about that. I don't find it interesting. Usually men do not discuss astrology, and they basically love astronomy because they're just as dumb as that. Do you fast at all? I try to fast between say when I go to sleep, let's say at nighttime to 12 o'clock. So basically 12 hours. Do you fast? Not stargazer. Still waiting for an answer. But so Young Dryas impact hypothesis. I have not followed that. I follow that because I paid attention. I paid attention to the stars up until the COVID thing, and then I just thought these people. I can't deal with two crazinesses. Okay, to the moon. Yes, for once a week for 24 hours. Yeah, I probably could do that now. I couldn't do that. We could discuss fasting. I mean, it's not the greatest story. It's better feasting. I remember when I was younger, I used to eat so that the food actually backed up to my neck, and they were like the food was pressing up against my glottal stop. Those are good times. The idea of not fasting is not quite as entertaining. Scorpio, that's what Joe Sanders says. So either a great criminologist or a serial killer. Interesting, because I don't feel like I'm compatible with Scorpions, and I don't know if I believe this. I mean, I know six are related to the other six. My first wife was a Taurus, and my last wife, if I could call her a wife. We were not married, but we were together for a very long time. She was July. What is July 19th? What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Um, there's a Virgo Earth sign. Is that what you are, Nicole Bercier? And so I don't know. So the good news is Crescent is on TV at that one spot that they're giving to the comedians from our show with Patrick Christie, who I actually like. He's really handsome. He's got a wife and a kid, and I just feel for him. You just look into his eyes, and kids have men having kids today not that easy. I didn't tell him what I think he needs to do, which is run. I think you've just got to get out of there as quickly as possible. Hold on a second. Can you see my microphone? Because I actually have a microphone in this thing. Let me put the microphone here so you can see the microphone. Yeah, how's that? That's all right. That means this is a real show. So Nicole is a Virgo or a sign. That's one of the six that do not get along with the other six. I don't know whether I've never told this to anybody or expected a person to listen to. I ran years ago, but it's not much better somewhere. Better elsewhere, really. Okay, this is Leo. Lee, where did you run to? You ran away from your wife and your kids. I'm not recommending that. I think you gotta fight it out. You gotta fight it out. You gotta stay there. I mean, you gotta make sure, you gotta stay there, I think. So I brought the whole family to Germany, then tried Holland. Oh, that's good. You're getting away. Now we're in Hungary now. Oh my God. So we count you as like three countries there. Are you English originally or British or Anglo-Saxons, Celts, whatever you are? You're English. And which of those countries do you think would be best for an English person? Okay. Have you thought about whether the best of the best headliners crew could reach and recreate the show, but online on YouTube? Maybe we could do that. No holds bars. He's Jewish. He's Jewish as it happens. Oh, that's interesting. Neverland. Hungary is great, but no work. And the language is awfully hard. Yeah, because it's a Cyrillic language, I think it is. It's like the same, similar to Estonian and Estonian and Finnish. That's really interesting. Okay, let's make a note of that. Just remember, I'm actually interested in that. We're all looking for a place to run. Should headliners do another show? Should that be our first thing? I'm gonna say it'd be great to work with these guys because actually they've been amazing. The people there have been amazing. And I hope I've made actual friends. I hope Nick is my friend. I hope Leo, and we got off to a rough start too. Leo likes me. I hope he does. I like Leo. I love Cressida. Jonathan, I found that he's my son. Yeah, these are good. These are good combinations. Paul, amazing. Uh, Stephen Allen, I have tremendous respect for. I mean, I don't agree with him. I don't like the way what he stands for. He's one of these guys, these guys who are like they believe in what everyone else believes in, kind of, but they don't think that they do. But he does. He's a lovely guy. Jonathan, Paul, they, I doesn't even Adam, I like. And I like what's her name? I like Adine. I know you're thinking that I'm having a thing with Adine. I think I think if you saw her in person and you see her on TV, I will honestly say I think she's a bit too pretty for even me to consider. Okay. So you have to know where you stand in this world. I'm 68 years old. She's young and she's beautiful. She's always been beautiful. And she's beautiful the old fashioned way and the newfangled way. Even Adam, I shouldn't say even Adam because I like Adam. I like Adam. He's a relative newcomer. I didn't mean it that way, Lucy. I didn't mean it that way. What did it sound like? That I was bad mouthing Adam? But I think we could do it. The thing that made headliners good, it was on people had spent money on us. They had actually paid people to be on the show. I mean, even I was paid barely. I'm not going to say how little it was, but it was like so little. And then I asked her when they fired me. When they fired me, I asked for a raise. It was quite. I thought it was. I thought I was. I wasn't being funny, but I said, if I come back, I would like some more money. And then I started to laugh because I just realized I'd been fired. What could be done with a new show? That's a question. I mean, what would it could be good. The people would be good. It would be good, but you'd need one person to be in charge of it. And even when we had Martin in charge, it was still infuriating. He made me angry sometimes, even though he gave me everything. Him him and Andrew gave me everything. Claire, hi Claire. Claire headliners should be definitely stay around with the correct lineup. It could be outrageous, no Ofcom, or maybe not. I remember when Howard Stern went on to a Sirius FM in America. I don't know if you can get Howard Stern here, but he was like outrageous beforehand, and then he could do whatever he wanted to, and it just didn't quite have the same thing. I'm not being negative to it. I am a bit being negative to it. I need to do something else. I need somebody else to call me. I think we have to call Lewis Schaffer, do we not? Rory says this. If my mother wanted me to name my first son Rory, I thought it was a good name, but I'm not a Rory. Rory is not quite a Jewishy name. Anyway, if I had the chance, I would watch Headliners. It was fantastic. Why? Where are you, Rory? Yeah, I think Rory. You know what it's like? It's like comedians in the dressing room of a club, and we all know we're not that special because we're on Headliners. You know what I mean? It's not like we're in the dressing room of some fantastic show. You know, when it's. I mean, it was good, and it's just great to hang out with them. That's comedians and the most antisocial, crazy people in the world, as you could probably tell. Dream team for headliners has always been me. Thank you. Nick Dixon. Thank you. Leo Kurz. Thank you. It was a good dynamic. It was a good dynamic, I thought. But because Nick Dixon and I are very similar, except he's a lot smarter than I am. Oh, Gitfode. Gitfode. What does that stand for? Gitfode. I was looking forward to GBN starting for months, and then I saw very simply uttering shit on trivial sound bites, very established, gutless drivel. Howie is King Canute. I think there's a lot of good stuff on it, but remember what country we live in. I mean, I'm not from this country. I'm not going to say that I love Britain anymore because people think that I'm a Canute if I say that, but there's a police state going on. It means get the F off and die. I'm truculent. That's a big word. Now I've got to look up what truculent means. What do you think it means, truculent? So Joe says Headliners is a needed platform for unfiltered, funny, and out there. If people are offended, don't watch it right. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, who wants to be on TV just to offend people though? Get phone. I mean, I like to offend people, but you can't offend people by saying the same things every week. You've got to come up with new things to say. And then someone says, "Hey, Lewis, you've changed. You're not quite as offensive as you used to be." It's a good point, though. I mean, it made people happy. Why did Lucy say even Adam? What happened? Has she been disconnected again? Has she been taken off of this channel? Anyway, so yeah, I think headliners. I was surprised at how people were really loving about the show, considering we've had like basically, an eternity of bad times the last year or more. Of just covering that horrible, horrible subject. Oh, relentlessly, and not once. I don't know if you noticed it. The things that I like to talk about, which is women and how horrible they are, and they are horrible, but worthy of love too. Don't quote me on that because I might not be able to give them love. But talking about what's been going on over there in Israel has been really depressing, and we can't talk about it all the time. We shouldn't talk about it maybe at all. If people have an opinion on it, and if you want to be wrong, you can be wrong, and I hope you rot in hell and die. But can't discuss it. We can discuss Velikovsky. Have you guys been looking up Velikovsky? He's amazing. And even though he's died in the 1970s. And then health and food and meat, that kind of thing. My hearing does not work. If you can't hear me, let you know. There was then we have 20 3 people watching. That is so good. I want to thank you all for doing that. And if you don't think something's interesting, you can say, "Can you move on, Lewis?" But try to say it in a nice way because I'm very insecure. I mean, the thing is, Leo is tall, and he's got that tall guy. What do you call that? Pretty privilege. And yay, oh, yay on you. Says premium. I love that name. That's a good name. Quality. That name is a quality name. And Nick he's got a huge IQ. He's not as smart as Andrew, but very few people are. And Cressida is she looks at you and she looks at me and she smiles. She's got a boyfriend now, so try not to mention that the two of us are going out because I don't want her husband to know about this. No, I don't want her. You know, she has a boyfriend, but when Cressida looks at you with a smile, it's like the world, the sky has lit up. But she's also looked at me and been incredibly angry with me, like incredibly angry with me. So, but she's amazing to work with. And Simon too. Simon, we got off to a rocky start, but he's all, so if I haven't named anybody, and Adam, he looks like a Jew. He looks like a Jew. Premium says Josh was. Well, I don't want to say that in public. Um, is Cressida's boyfriend Nick? No, no. I don't know if I should talk about her personal business, but I mean, I don't want to say what she. Not Nick. Not Nick. Though Nick and her. I mean, you can't imagine anybody going out with Nick. I mean, he's so grumpy. Could you imagine anybody going out with me? No, no. I mean, maybe, but it would be nice. It'd be nice to see people have. I believe in love, even though I think men have no hope. No hope. I mean, my problem is I'm 68. That is a bit too old. That's a bit too old. Maybe if you're like 40, 60, 70, for an older woman, I think you could probably enjoy. I'm not quite as fast as I used to be. I don't know. Premium. You were the reason I love the show. You was funny. Nick was off-com obsessed. I'm off-com obsessed. But then I realized they're not listening to me. And then it was like really my feelings were hurt. Nick has a way. Nick can make money. He's hardworking. He's got his own podcast with Paul or on his own. Should we be off-com obsessed? I think we should. I think, I'm an American. We live in freedom of speech, or supposed to be. And we don't want to be controlled. We're English people. English people are a very ornery, independent group of people. God bless English people. Okay. There are 22 people watching. What are MI15 and GCQH doing? Shouldn't they be keeping up on Team World instead? No, because they are Team World. They are in with the enemy. That's the team. I'm not saying they are. Maybe there's somebody there who would fight for Britain and fight for America. Well, not for America, because these are British people, but fight for the Angles, the Saxons, the Jutes, the Celts, the Scots, the Welsh. Someone needs to fight for them. I'm not going to fight for them, but I came to this country 25 years ago, and it was horrible, and it's horrible in a different way right now. Me too, Lewis. Me too. Lewis was so funny, and I was only have radio. I always was able to recognize your voice. I think maybe that's why I should be on, because even in America, my voice was weird. I got speech therapy. I took like a year's worth of speech, that $3,500 worth of speech therapy. And the Frisians, yeah, they came too. Well, we call them, what do we call them? The Danes, yeah, the Picts. These are the ancestral people and the people who came to this country, and consider themselves British or even English, that they love this country. They love English people, wherever they come from. If you hate the country, you should, I don't want to say this because they might have to kick me out. My ex-girlfriend thought that I should be kicked out. The thing I couldn't say about Black State in Britain would curl your toes. I don't mean the neurotech attacks. What is Black State? Is that the G whatever that is? The MI5 or MI6 and GH, whatever it's called. Maybe they should FO. We don't want to say that. We don't want to use that word, but thank you for not using that word. We're nice to everybody. Everybody should be nice to everybody, but sometimes you got to put your foot. Why have I become so animated about this? So we've got 26 people watching. That's really good. Is there sound on? If there's no sound, you just tell me immediately. So we've got that. What I wanted to say is Paul's going to come back tomorrow. I'm going to ask him to come back tomorrow. And who knows who else you want to have on. I live in Nunhead, so someone's got to come by. Paul, unfortunately, lives down there in Portsmouth, and it's in between here and London, but it's still far out of the way. Okay, I would not. Maybe I would fight for the Saxons, but but I mean, we have to know our history. The fact is, one group comes in, another group takes over, another group leaves. This is just the way it is, and eventually, and so we got to be prepared for that. We got to fight for what we have as long as we have. Okay, Joe Sanders is in Portsmouth. Anglicans are way better than those soft southern puffs. Okay, you could say that, and are way better. But the Anglicans are from basically the South, the Mid-South. No one came and took over since the Normans, though. I think that's the problem, Gitford. The problem is that and when I say we, I mean English people, haven't had any trouble. And even during World War II, we didn't have really any trouble. They bombed Britain a bit, but they didn't take us over, But how did the Saxons take over? How did the Normans invade? How did the Romans take over? They took over. They didn't pay attention. I'm not advocating war, but they didn't pay attention. Do you mind, everybody? This has turned out a little bit better than I thought. I'd like to check my the Twitter thing to see if anybody there is making a thing. Looked in. Don't forget to include a link, Lewis Schaffer. I'm off YouTube to see if I can find you a link for the show. Oh, I see. Okay, I've got the link here. Let me see if this works. I tell you, people are so good. The problem is my son is coming. He's not here right now. With my son who moved in. My son has moved in. Let me see if this works. Sound is on. Okay, thank you, Vicky. That's Vicky, Trev and Vic. So who is Trev? For the people listening out there, I know this is not an appropriate thing to talk about, but I am available. If you're interested this is what I look like. I got no makeup on. I'm sorry. This is who I am. Lucy, the good-looking one. Well, they're both good-looking, but not the. I shouldn't talk about whether he's good-looking or not. He's lovely, my son. He's the older son, and he's good with computers. He gave me this computer, or maybe he gave his brother the computer, and then I stole it from his brother. Would you rather be? Here's a question for everybody. Would you rather be good-looking and a bit unprepared for life intellectually because you don't study as much because you're not that good looking? You are good looking, or would you rather be kind of ugly and force yourself to go to university and get a master's degree and you don't care if you get fat? Is that the one Dan Wooten spoke to at his favorite cafe? Yes, it is. That's an interesting story. Right after Dan Wooten mentioned me, he went to a cafe in Peckham / Nunhead, and where I'm not going to mention the one, and he met my beautiful son, and I don't know whether my son said, "Hey, you're Dan Wooten," my dad is. I don't remember exactly how it goes, but thank you for mentioning that, Premium. I'll keep my brains and the big schnoz. Yeah, it's a good question. Yeah. Well, what do you think? Okay, Lee says 1 vote for being less attractive and having big brains. Yeah, I mean, I tell you one thing about I'm not saying I'm smart, but I'm a bit smarter than I am. I think I'm about equal. Am I as good looking as I am? You'd have to see me in person. You could have come to the show. You could have come to that Free Speech Nation when Josh was hosting. because funny girls liked me, and now I'm married to less funny. So she took your comedy away from you. Did she take your comedy away from you, Lee G? And now you're living in Hungary. Did you marry a Hungarian girl? She took it all. They always take it all. They take it all because they want it all, and you're going to have to give them all. Now I'm in Hungary at her mercy. Is she a Hungarian girl? They can be very beautiful. Jaja Gabor are very beautiful women. They're not fat. Like, I'm not saying English girls are fat. Stop being fat. But they are fat. They are fat. Um, anyway, so yeah, she is. You're right. But they're not fat. Uh, the problem is, and I think Hungary is going to be good for the Jews in the future, right now, and that's what the Jews think. So you'll have a problem there. We got 21 people listening, so why don't we stay on for another 10 minutes or something? Is that fair? I'm not getting enough communication on this. Let me see what else is going on. I think the pasteurizing process is used to kill naturally occurring pus bugs that occur in cows' udders, because I bought some non-pasteurized milk, which was delicious. It's naturally occurring pus, so you should be fine, though. You know what? Even not naturally good. Well, naturally good is better. You can die from natural stuff. But he's saying I should eat it. Channel your inner Velikovsky. Don't be afraid to face the facts. Never lose your ability to ask the questions. Why and how? And why should we, that Velikovsky is going, why should we believe you? I came up with a different thing. He was a bit naive, Velikovsky, because he thought because he was right, they were going to listen to him, and they didn't listen to him at all. They did not listen to Velikovsky. Bravo, Lewis, says Old Cynic Cab on Twitter. Love Burrow. I was going to visit today, but son invited me out to lunch. Enjoy the raw milk. I was at Borough Market for the first time. It was like noontime, and it was packed. It was packed, like bumping into people. Palookaville, who's a friend of mine, because I don't know if he's a friend, but he went to a million of my shows. And he says, I'm back. We'll keep an eye out. And Jeff Fellows says, how is the podcast going, Lewis? Any sound? Is the podcast is going sound? I don't want to end this thing because this is like so good. Lewis, do you know you won't live forever no matter how much raw you eat or drink? Mind your teeth are looking good. Thank you, Sadie Lynn. Let me see. There's Sadie Lynn. Okay, she's nice. I don't know if she's nice. She's a girl. Every girl is nice to me. As I said before, I'm available. Very lonely. The last I was last time I was this lonely, I got into big trouble. I mean, you need a girl to run away from. That's what makes girls so great. What was the point that she was making? We won't live forever. We will not live forever. We will not live forever. But I'd like to be healthy. I'd like my teeth not to rot anymore. They've stopped rotting. I'd like my feet not to be itching me. I'd like to not have backache when I wake up in the morning and plantar fasciitis. Marilyn Penny, who's been very big on Twitter, and I thank her for this. Comedians don't get enough time now, needs to restructure. Okay. Maybe not. Maybe they're right. We do not know what's going to turn out. I don't think it was meanness towards headliners. Okay. Elon Musk will make brain data transfer to robot bodies, probably. I do not think so. Maybe they will, because I think this AI is really scary. I didn't think it was scary. He may do that, but before that happens, somebody else is going to take over the country, and it's going to be a waste of time to have that stuff. Okay. So Joe Sanders says, not the fat thing, but staying on for 10 more minutes, though. Laugh out loud. Okay, that's nice. Not stay. You come from Nottingham, Knots, Stargazer. Is that where you come from? I asked Grok about the raw milk. It said it's a balance between the risk of E. coli and pasteurized milk having fewer nutrients. Well, that's the question for everything you do, basically. But here is the truth. The truth is that there's E. coli on everybody. It's like universal germ, as far as I know. I'm not a doctor. You'd have to check that out. But that's what I've heard. Did Venus really come from Jupiter? Well, according to Velikovsky, that's the theory, either Jupiter or Saturn. I think it's Jupiter. But it kind of exploded when the electricity in the solar system, remember, I didn't think of this, but it makes sense to me, that in the solar system is electricity goes, like, what is the sun? The sun is basically a cathode where the electricity is floating through space. It hits this cathode, this little thing, and it suddenly lights up. Lucy says raw milk isn't much lower in nutrients and is higher in vitamin A. Well, what nutrients is it lower in? I thought wasn't lower at all. Do you believe in exercise? Yes, and I think we should believe. I think when you're young, and when I say young, let's say under 40, you don't need to exercise, or under 50. But as we get older, I haven't exercised in years, but I think you need to exercise a little bit because women can throw a punch and you got to be able to block it. Um, you've got to. I do believe in exercise. Do you? Sorry, I'm in pasteurized milk. Probably it's not. Lucy, she's good because Lucy's clarified. She says pasteurized milk is not that much lower in nutrients. But here's the thing: is the I don't believe in germs anymore. I don't really believe in that much bacteria. Okay, I don't believe in it. I don't think you should be reckless about it, but you should be healthy. You should be careful of not even be careful what you eat. Eat raw food. I'm not the first person to any of this stuff that I do. I didn't discover all of this, but I was sitting there. Can I tell a story? I was sitting there. I was really depressed. This is before COVID. I didn't need COVID to get all depressed, but I was really sad, whatever, because I was in bad health. And I was watching video about Albert Einstein. And I thought, oh, he's my people. He's my people. And I thought, Albert Einstein, great guy. He's my people. And then the more I saw it, do you know that Albert Einstein did one of those scientific experiments where he multiplied by zero? This is what I've been told. Multiplied by zero. How can you respect somebody like that? Albert Einstein, if you look at what Albert Einstein says, he's really funny. But is he a scientist? Whatever you consider a scientist to be? I don't think so. And that's why now I believe everything that we've been told is wrong, except the stuff that I've figured out on my own. Okay, Lucy says, and the enzymes are of no use. Okay. What are you saying? You're saying Lucy says that the enzymes are no use, meaning what does that mean? That any enzymes that are in milk are no use, or is it because the heating of it creates no benefit? It actually kills the enzymes in the milk because cooking. Who is your favorite ever comedian? You know what? Albert Einstein. I've watched a lot of things and he's like proper funny, Albert Einstein. And I could see him if he didn't go this science, whatever this fake science route he went on. He could have been a comedian. Who's my favorite comedian? My favorite comedian ever, I don't want to say, but basically is Don Rickles. And there's so many that, I never liked English comedians or British comedians because I thought I thought that they were horrible. But the fact is that they were so much better than I thought that they were. Basically. Who is your least favorite comedian that has been on TV? I don't know, because I never watch those people. How can you watch them? You're not forced to watch them, so I never watch them. But I did not like the comedians that I like now from this country, like Lee Mack or Tim Vine, or I tell you who is so funny, I think, is Nick Dixon. Nick Dixon, I shouldn't say that. Okay, comedy comes in cleverness. Thickies never get jokes. Yeah. Oh, you're saying that because I never got the jokes. It could be that. I mean, I was told I was going to die skint by Bernard Manning. Okay, so who knows? Who knows? So this is Paul Cox. Okay, well, there's Cressida Wet and see if she's listening. Okay, he called me a comedian. That's true. That's so funny. Who did? I just got a message from Cressida, who's not my girlfriend. So don't say she's my girlfriend. Who did? Okay. Ricky Gervais. You know what? I didn't like Ricky Gervais, but I don't agree with him politically on a lot of different things, but I like him. And John Cleese was really nice to me personally. I never worked with Ricky Gervais, but Bernard Manning said I was going to die broke, skint. He used the word skint. And I'm in my living room now. Of course he's right. Somebody should call me and say we're gonna do a show. Is okay, we got 25 people here. Is this long enough, do you think? First of all, before we go anywhere, everybody press the finger thing up to make me feel like I'm a valid human being. Because I think you're a valid human being. Lucy, what did you say? The enzymes are of no use in raw milk. Well, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. Um, John Cleese, legend, grew up with Monty Python and then Faulty Towers classic. Yeah, he was great. Bill Hicks was not one of my favorites. He was not one of my favorites. He basically was not one of my favorites. I mean, no, no. But did I dislike him? There were lots of comedians like Bill Hicks. I don't want to badmouth him because he's dead, but maybe he's better than I am. He's better than I am. But he did do a joke about this woman asking the waitress saying, "What you reading that book for? What are you reading that for?" And he makes a joke about how stupid the waitress was. And that's and I don't like that kind of thing. I don't like that kind of thing. I believe in attacking people who deserve to be attacked, but that we don't know who they are because we think they're on the bottom because we're racist, let's say. So there are people out there that should be attacked comedically. Okay. Lucy says the presence of enzymes is one of the supposed benefits of raw milk. I hadn't heard about enzymes. I'm not. Yeah, well, we produce our own enzymes. We don't eat enzymes. Do we eat enzymes? I don't think so. Okay, so we could find out about that. I'll write that down because I have not heard much about enzymes. And as usual, Lucy comes up with the goods. Comes up with stuff that I had not heard. Okay. Happy to see you, Lewis, says Jerry Shepardini. I don't think that's your real name, but thank you. You shared the link of what you were streaming on and not the link to this on Twitter. Okay, well, how do I do that? How do I do that? I don't know how to do that, Jerry. I thought I did that. Can someone show me what I should stream? Rennet in cheese contains an enzyme. Yes, and it makes the milk go wonky. Does it do something to our stomach to make it go wonky? Lucy, they are just proteins that get broken down in the stomach. No systemic benefits. Yeah, I could see that. It's just proteins. It's like people who are drinking, what are the thing? Not cartilage for their bones. They think if they eat cartilage, it's going to help them with cartilage in between the bones, and it doesn't. That's a very good point. If you disagree with Lucy, please say something. Um, Sent it to you, Lewis. Where did you send it to me? On Twitter? Okay, let me just go look on Twitter. I think the show has been better for me. I think it's been all right. Is it all right? Is it all right? Oh, here it is. Here it is. Oh, oh, so it's being broadcast live too. Oh, that's very interesting. That's very interesting. Okay. Oh my God, we've got 557 people. Okay. Will we hear Lewis Schaffer's voice? You have. You have. Okay. All right. Okay. So that's Jerry Shepardini. Thank you, Jerry Shepardini. Is that really your name? That's not, I don't know. Is that maybe somebody else? But is that really your name? You're like, what are you, a gay Scottish guy? I'm in favor of homosexuality, just secretly. I don't think that it has any place. Hold on a second. Did I turn the thing off? Did I turn it off? How did this happen? I must have turned the thing off. Did I turn it off? Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Don't go anywhere. I think I turned it off. Did I turn it off? I pressed something I shouldn't have pressed. Okay. Okay. Hello. Are we on the air? A friend there tweet something because now I can't see you now. And I hear you on this on the speaker. You know what?